Greetings and welcome back to Moving Right Along, a Muppet movie podcast brought to you by toughpigs.com. This is the podcast where we watch Muppet Treasure Island 2 minutes at a time and talk about it a lot. I'm your host, Ryan Rowe.
I'm your other host, Anthony Strand.
And today we have my favorite guest of all time. She's been on for every movie. I always love having her here. Guest, please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Staci Rosen.
Staci Rosen. Wow.
Yeah.
Hi.
Educator, performer, writer, Staci Rosen.
Yep, that's the one.
Also my wife, Staci Rosen.
Oh, am I that one? That's Staci Rosen?
So.
Oh, okay.
Well, thanks for being on the podcast.
Yeah, thanks for coming, Staci. Always enjoy it.
Anytime.
And today you are here to talk with us about minutes 77 and 78 of Muppet Treasure Island, in which the ghost of Samuel Arrow scares the pirates away and Captain Smollett hangs out. So we begin with Fozzie as Squire Trelawney, Bunsen as Dr. Livesey, and Beaker as Mr. Beaker. They're still tied up inside the ship, and they're struggling to get free. One thing that I never noticed before about these scenes late in the movie here until I was scrutinizing it 2 minutes at a time, they have these new costumes. They're wearing these shirts that are sort of these khaki colored shirts that all have symbols on them. It resembles the Ghostbusters symbol, but it has a skull and crossbones instead of a ghost. So like they're pirate busters, I guess. So that's cool. You can see it clearly on Fozzie's shirt in this scene. So Fozzie shouts at Mr. Bimbo, "Make yourself useful. Try and save us. Do something." But
This is the first of two Mr. Bimbo jokes in this scene.
Yeah, it's true.
And man, was I not thrilled to get two in one episode.
No, I mean, we do get Fozzie yelling at Mr. Bimbo, though, which is like, maybe we feel like yelling at Mr. Bimbo.
That is true. I do yell at him to get out of my house.
Right. Staci, what are your general feelings about Mr. Bimbo?
I'm just so confused about it.
Yeah.
It like seems like a gag that someone's kid like told their parent they should do, and then that parent just went ahead and said okay and wrote that into the movie. Like, is it supposed to be like the Shining reference?
It kind of seems like it could be, but Mr. Bimbo doesn't actually talk.
Yes, I know. I did not think about Red Rum.
Yeah, I've heard people
Yeah.
suggest that before. But is it Tony, the name of the little man who lives in Danny's finger in The Shining?
I think so. I think that's right.
But Tony speaks, but Mr. Bimbo never actually. We never hear his voice.
We never hear him speak,
right.
But that's I just don't understand the purpose of it. It just seems completely out of left field, and it never like pays off in any kind of way.
Yeah,
really.
And
it's and I mean, I'm repeating myself, but like, also it's just kind of the same joke over and over. Like, there's not a lot of variation, even.
And what's the significance of the name? Because
None.
It just like, oh, this is a word that will get a laugh because it means something different that people think?
It just sounds like a funny word. Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
I just think it
sounds like a theoretically funny word. I would say.
It's an all-around fail for me.
Okay, there you go.
Great to have you on the show, Staci.
Yeah.
Wait, but you were talking about what Fozzie's wearing.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell what's supposed to be in his hat. I know he's got goggles on, but is that a flask? Like, what is that other thing that's attached to his hat?
Oh, I didn't notice.
I'm going to go back and look
Are
now.
these new accessories on his hat? Is that maybe that's another?
They may have been there the whole movie, but obviously these are the minutes rather that I was scrutinizing. So it's the very beginning of the scene.
I don't think he had goggles before.
Yeah, he has goggles, and right next to him, it's something cylindrical, is what you're talking about, right?
Yeah, maybe it's supposed to be like a telescope sort of thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's like an attachment for his goggles, like a telescope attachment.
Yeah, maybe.
It looks about the same circumference.
I think you mean diameter. No, you could mean circumference too in this case. I won't out geometry you.
Yeah, I meant the distance around.
I know. Yeah.
I mean, I my dad's a high school math teacher. And I didn't inherit much from him. I didn't inherit his social graces or his good looks. But I can do math.
Nice.
Well, anyways, maybe it's just another like this sort of Ghostbusters, Pirate Busters. It's part of that uniform.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So despite Fozzie yelling, "Mr. Bimbo is worthless," but who's not worthless? Jim Hawkins, along with Gonzo, Rizzo, and Sam, because they show up and Jim starts to untie his friends here. And Fozzie says, "I should have let him live in my finger."
Yeah. So there's actually 3 Mr. Bimbo jokes, I guess.
Oh,
and that phrasing should have let him. That's a weird way for that line to be phrased. I don't know if Frank Oz was just sort of improvising with the line there, but like let him implies that like he invited this
like Jim wants
entity into his finger.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What about, too bad he doesn't live in my finger.
Right.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that have worked better?
I think you're right. Yeah. So, okay, they're untied. So how are they going to get off of this ship without the pirates grabbing them or noticing them? They do have a plan. We see Jim taking a peek at the pirates up on the deck. I like that New Zealand is making a Jolly Roger flag with, I guess this is needlepoint.
This is knitting.
Knitting. He's just knitting.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What's the difference between knitting and needlepoint?
Needlepoint is totally different. That is where you stretch the, like, I don't know if canvas is the right word, but you stretch the material across.
Like the muslin.
Across like a circular thing, and then you run a needle in and out of it to make the
So needlepoint, so like cross stitching is a type of needlepoint. It's a stitch you do in needlepoint. So it's the going in and out on the fabric. Knitting and crocheting are in the same family, but with different tools.
So Roz is a big knitter and a crocheter. So I know this one. Knitting is with 2 needles, crocheting is with 1 hook.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So
good to know. And
so he's definitely
holding 2 needles. So
he's holding 2 needles, so he's knitting a Jolly Roger flag.
Okay, good. I'm glad we settled that.
I don't think that yarn would hold up on a flagpole. Like I don't know what he's going to do with
long at sea, especially. Yeah. But no, I always just like when New Zealand is more than just the fish throwing guy. So now we know that he likes knitting too.
He has hobbies.
Yeah. Speaking of New Zealand, you can hear more about him on the Tough Pigs podcast, 70 Years, 70 Muppets, in an episode hosted by our friend Joe Hennis with his guest, our other friend, David Buchema.
It's true.
Go check that out.
It happened.
So Jim then goes back down below deck and asks Bunsen if he thinks their plan will work. Bunsen says his research indicates that pirates are very superstitious. And
they are a superstitious and cowardly lot, one might say.
Could be. Has anyone ever done fan art of Bunsen as Batman?
You know, probably.
Probably, yeah.
Like, he's a character who exists.
Yeah, exactly.
So I bet there's Batman Bunsen art out there. If not, listeners, get on it.
Oh, we'll get some, yeah. That's for sure. Somebody will post that or send it to us. When he says this, he hits Jim's knee with a powder puff. And he also does a little like finger twiddle, which just somehow seems like a Bunsen thing. I can't think of specific examples where he's twiddled his fingers like that in the past, but it just feels like Bunsen somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Agree with that.
Also, I Googled, were pirates superstitious? And I found a few different results of like lists of pirate superstitions. You know, it's the internet, so may or may not be real. But one thing that stood out, supposedly, pirates considered it bad luck if they went fishing and caught a left boot. If you caught a right boot, that was fine. But if you caught a left boot, yeah, bad news.
This is just like furthering the smear campaign against left-handed people.
Yeah,
I don't like
absolutely.
This.
Good call.
Yeah, you're right. So back on the deck, the pirates are now surprised to see an unexpected figure appear. It's Mr. Arrow, but he's all pale and he's covered in seaweed. As far as these guys know, Mr. Arrow's dead. He went overboard. And Sam comes up and calmly says, "Boogie, Boogie, Boogie, I am the ghost of Samuel Arrow." And the pirates just kind of stare at him for a minute, and then suddenly he snaps his head back to look at him and goes, "Boogie!"
That's great.
Yeah.
So I have 2 thoughts about this. One, I love this. This is one of my favorite gags in the whole movie. Like I think it's I think it looks great too. The seaweed on his face really makes him look monstrous. It has a very like Frankenstein's monster look to his face, I think.
Right.
But the other thing is the last movie that they made actually had ghosts in it. For real.
That's true.
And in this one, Sam, the eagle is just pretending to be one.
Right. We did see him as an old man at the end of that last one.
That's right. Him and Fozzie were roommates.
Not quite dead yet, but near the end of his life, I guess. And now he is as a ghost. And I think the staging and the composition of this shot is really good, where you have Sam near the foreground and then all the pirates are in the background. So when he turns to face them, you just see all the pirates just scatter and run away from him.
I just like to think that he wasn't given a script, but he was told, act like you're the ghost of him. And so, like, of course, he's so literal and he's just going to say those words. I am the ghost. Like, I don't think he needed to say that outright to get the desired effect. But that feels very Sam to me. Like, oh, you want me to be the ghost? Okay, I will say I am the ghost.
Right.
Yeah. If you gave this job to Gonzo, he would go a lot further with it and act a lot crazier and spookier. But yeah, you're right. Sam was just doing it his way.
It's very straightforward. Right before he turns around, New Zealand puts down his knitting and is looking at Sam very attentively. Like he looks like he's just fascinated. Like can't wait to see what's about to go down.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, and actually, New Zealand, I wonder. So I actually find the pirate puppets that are not characters we know already to be pretty darn creepy. I don't know if you've talked about their designs already. I wonder if like New Zealand was brought in as like a familiar, friendlier face to maybe make the pirates a little. Him and the goat. I love that goat. What's that goat's name?
Clueless Morgan.
Thank you. I feel like those two are kind of the cuter, sort of the cutesy looking puppets as opposed to the other pirates that I just think are pretty menacing looking.
Yeah, some of them are much more actively weird looking.
Real old Tom is real creepy.
Yeah,
they're called Real Creepy Tom.
They could change his name. So there's something that just seems natural about a ghost or another scary creature saying boogie boogie, but I realized I didn't know why. So I didn't spend a lot of time researching this online, but a few things I read point to the connection between the word boogie and, of course, the concept of a boogeyman or bogeyman, as it's sometimes called, which is just like any kind of generic monster or ghost-like creature that adults tell kids to be afraid of. And from the Wikipedia article on boogeyman, the word bogeyman used to describe a monster in English may have derived from Middle English boogie or bogey, or maybe boggy, I don't know, which means frightening specter, terror, or scarecrow. So Sam kind of does look like, I mean, he's a frightening specter for sure, and he kind of does look like a scarecrow here with the seaweed hanging off of him and everything. So it makes sense. And then also I should mention, this makes me think of the scene in the Marx Brothers movie, A Night at the Opera, when there's a spooky scene on stage in the opera and Groucho pops up behind some audience members and goes, boogie, boogie, boogie.
He sure does.
Sure does. Oh, and then, of course, we should also mention that there was a Ghost of Sam the Arrow action figure made by Palisades.
Yes, and as discussed, our previous guest and Tough Pigs co-owner Jared Fairclough owns it.
Yes, yeah.
He has that one. He talked about it on the show.
Which is actually impressive because I don't know if I remembered or realized that was an exclusive that was only available at the Wizard World Long Beach 2004 convention or through the Palisades Collectors Club. So I don't know how Jared got his hands on it. I guess we'll have to ask him. But yeah, that was not one of the easier figures to get. It's basically just the Sam Arrow action figure, but it has the seaweed and it's differently colored and everything. So yeah, that's cool. Now, Staci, Sam is your favorite Muppet.
True.
And we wanted to make sure you got on in a scene where he had something to do, so you could talk about him. What do you think about his role in this movie in general?
Oh, can you remind me of a couple other like key moments with him in the movie?
Well, he's the first mate, and Kermit is sort of very laid back and nice about everything. So Sam goes around barking orders at everybody.
Yeah, I think that works because I think he would be the one who would want to maintain the order of the ship.
Right.
I wish he were like had a little more foresight with the keys and
Yeah.
things like that, but
Right.
he meant well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I always like seeing I like older version of Sam before he became that sort of patriotic caricature that I feel he's become in recent years. I like just seeing, other sides of him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same.
It wouldn't have made sense for them to lean into the patriotic stuff in this one because of when and where it takes place. So,
And they do a joke about that in Christmas Carol, right? It's the American
Yes.
way. No, it's the British way.
right.
So
exactly.
I'm glad they didn't go back to that well here. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't even come up once. I mean, yeah, they would have just been repeating that joke essentially. So, and then just another thought I had, do you think that the other characters had to work to convince Sam to participate in this ruse? Because it's a little bit undignified for a first mate to be, wearing dirty seaweed and all this.
I feel like Sam would have been really disappointed when he realized how he let things get out of his hands.
Oh, yeah.
Initially, and he would feel a tremendous amount of guilt. So I think that would counteract any objections he might have under normal circumstances to this tomfoolery.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. We've seen that he thinks there should be consequences for actions, for behavior. So this is him making up for allowing himself to be fooled by Long John Silver.
Mhm.
Sure. I'll buy it.
He's also fiercely devoted to the ship, and the ship has been taken out. Like, he needs to defend its honor.
Right.
So if these guys are like, this is how you do it, I don't know. I buy that.
Yeah.
They'll
Okay.
do it.
So then the pirates, they all run away, and there's nowhere else to go, so they jump off the ship into the water.
They sure do. Starting with, so I mentioned New Zealand earlier, how right away he just looks intrigued.
Yeah.
And then he starts like literally shaking while Sam is saying boogie, boogie, boogie. Like the puppet is like vibrating.
Uh-huh.
And I think it helps. That it's this like just super cartoony, literally like shaking in his seat,
Yeah.
It's funny because they're jumping to certain death instead of facing what may or may not be certain death.
That's true.
It has a good effect of even if the superstitious line isn't actually true to pirate lore, it really works for this movie to have them say that earlier and then they all just run and jump off. It's a good gag.
Yeah, I guess they're hoping that they can all make it, to swim to the island, but
we know some small humans that loved that part.
yeah, our nephews recently saw this movie, and they recorded some of their thoughts, which I will definitely be including at the end of a podcast episode. It might be this one, or it might be a future episode, but yeah. So there's new generations of Muppet fans being made, including our 8 and 5-year-old nephews.
That's what I love to hear.
Yeah. So our heroes emerge from below deck. They're all celebrating. Gonzo asks, "What do we do now?" And they all turn to Jim. And he seems a little bit surprised by this at first, but then he just starts giving orders right away. Like he knows exactly what he's doing. He says, "Weigh anchor." And Sam repeats, "Weigh anchor." And he says, "Set the sails." And Sam repeats, "Set the sails."
I had to replay that several times because with his British accent, it sounded very much like he was saying a word in British slang that rhymes with banker. And multiple times I had to replay that because I swear that's what he was saying.
When he says "weigh anchor."
Anchor.
Yeah.
Well, anchor.
Ooh, now I got to decide if I'm going to censor that or not.
when I say it.
Yeah, when you just said it. Do I beep it?
But I said it exactly as it was written. That's what I said.
Yeah, he does say it very quickly. We are about to hear, I think by the end of this clip, we're going to hear Tim Curry say, bloody, where's the bloody treasure? Which
we've heard bloody earlier in the movie. Yeah,
and we've learned that was censored from the British version.
Which makes sense. But what's so funny is Americans don't use that word to mean that. So it doesn't sound like an expletive.
Right.
To an American child.
Yeah, which is why it was they let it slip in for the American release, but the British release of this movie they censored it.
I wonder if in the British version, where they're less prudish than we are, if they allowed I was thinking about how when you're hanging upside down from a rope, your clothes would not be they would be falling down and there would be some exposure. And I was thinking oh, well, that doesn't match physics, but maybe in the British one they allowed bare fleece.
I imagine there must have been a decision about that and how much, especially Piggy, because she's kind of wearing it's not
a dress of sorts,
kind of a dress, yeah. Decide if it was going to defy physics. Yeah, that's a good point. But it's happening now. Jim's aspirations of being a captain are starting to come true here. Then Jim turns to Fozzie and says, "And you, Squire Trelawney." Fozzie's very flustered. He hides his face in his hands. Not sure exactly what he thinks Jim is going to say. Maybe reminding him that it was his fault that they had a bunch of pirates in their crew. But instead, Jim just says, "Take the helm." And Fozzie says, "Step aside, Mr. Bimbo. I shall be taking the helm." Is that the other Mr. Bimbo joke you were referring to?
That's the other one, that he's well, Mr. Bimbo's the hand, I guess, so he's going to pilot the ship. But no, me.
Yeah, but
Squire Trelawney.
Right, but like you say, he is in Fozzie's finger. So if Fozzie is taking the helm and steering the ship, Mr. Bimbo's going to be involved somewhere in there.
Yeah, Mr. Bimbo's not funny.
What if Fozzie just cut off his finger in that moment?
Yeah, step aside, Mr. Bimbo. You're gone.
That would have been a twist. Yikes.
So, and then we see Gonzo pulling the wheel that lifts up the anchor, which I don't know the name of the wheel exactly, but it's that thing. And Gonzo says, "Hurry, Rizzo." And then as Rizzo comes around into the frame, we can see that Rizzo is just hanging on to this thing. His legs can't reach all the way to the floor, but he says, "I'm going as fast as I can."
Now, we've talked, even this episode, we've already talked about how this movie is consciously attempting to emulate Christmas Carol often.
Yeah.
And even in the movie, I don't know that this is the case necessarily, but in the VHS trailer for this, the trailer that was on a lot of tapes around that time, it ends with this. It ends with Rizzo saying, "I'm going as fast as I can."
Yeah, I definitely remember.
And then it's on video, fall 1996 or whatever, right?
Right.
But in a similar position in the Muppet Christmas Carol trailer was, "Thank you for making me a part of this." And I feel like the trailer is edited to be yep, Rizzo's up to his old tricks.
Sure.
Rizzo's just kind of a tool in a scheme that Gonzo is doing or something.
Yeah, you're gonna see that old Rizzo Gonzo dynamic that you.
I love the actual rat storyline in this. I know that this isn't part of my. I know it's not part of my minutes, but boy, did they commit to the gag. The cruise line gag, I think, is actually one of the most brilliant Muppety aspects of the movie. I delighted in it. I want to see someone do a supercut of just those moments. I'd watch that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
it's the greatest.
I think since we've been watching it for this season, I appreciate it now more than ever. Just because every time the rats pop up, it's just so delightful.
Yeah. Well, and didn't you guys just go on a cruise?
We did
this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, not so long ago.
So now you have also a new appreciation for that reason, probably. Right.
Yeah. I did actually. I don't think I've mentioned this. I meant to mention this on the podcast, but the there wasn't a midnight buffet exactly, but there was a buffet that went until late at night, including midnight, and there were margaritas. You could
Oh yes, it was
order a
very
margarita.
important to Ryan to confirm this.
So true to the
For-
song from this movie, there were margaritas at the midnight buffet.
There you go.
I didn't see any rats though, fortunately.
Thankfully,
Yeah.
yeah.
The other thing about this Rizzo gag, though, is this is a rare moment when they acknowledge how much shorter Rizzo is than the other Muppets.
Yeah.
Because another thing we talk about a lot is how most of the time when Rizzo is side by side with another Muppet, they're cheating his height because
Sure.
he would just be floating in air. So now we're seeing Rizzo's full height used for comedic purposes.
Yeah.
Anything else about the Hispaniola before we cut to our next location?
Nope.
Okay, so our next location is the edge of a cliff where Kermit, as Captain Smollett, is hanging from a rope wrapped around a dead tree. And there's a bunch of pirates and Piggy standing there watching him. Piggy calls out, "Smolly, my love," and then we see Kermit's hat fall off, and then we see it fall a long way down to the ocean below, which is a very effective way of telling us that this is not a fall that he would survive.
Well, this is sort of unrelated to what's happening it's related. Sometimes I wish that the Muppet just like property would play around with relationships. Like, I don't feel like I always need to see Piggy in love with whatever character Kermit's playing. Like, how fun would it be to switch if they had switched that up sometimes? And if we had seen Piggy in love with Fozzie or in love with Gonzo, or I don't know, just like different relationship dynamics.
Yeah, that would be really interesting. Yeah, and my instinct is that if they were doing it in something like this, like an adaptation of an existing story, they would have to present it with some kind of scene where, like, Piggy was either protesting having to be in love with the character played by Gonzo because she would rather be playing against the character played by
But
Kermit.
there's always that fourth wall breaking.
Yeah.
So why not?
Yeah.
I don't know. Just
Yeah, that would be really interesting. And I'm trying to think of if they have ever done that before. And other than human guest stars on the Muppet Show, I don't think they really have.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was just a side note.
No, they should try that sometime. You're right.
Because it's just kind of predictable. Like, we were all just waiting for the Piggy character who's going to be in love with the frog.
Yeah.
You just expect it in every production.
Right. Yeah, they should surprise us sometime.
Yeah. You guys hear that? Are you listening?
Oh, sure. They're all listening. Of course, they surprise us by having them, quote unquote, break up.
That's true.
Sitcom, and the general public.
That's true. What was his new girlfriend? The new love interest name? Denise.
Yeah, they did.
But also a pig, right?
Also a pig.
Also a pig.
Yeah.
Also a pig. Also a pig.
With glasses.
And then they were like, we could make Denise a real character, but nah. And then they just kind of forgot about her for most of that series.
Yeah, that show was bad.
All right, well, back to
had its moments, but anyway,
the cliffhanger.
Yes, literal cliffhanger.
Literal.
So, I was just gonna say, it looks like there's some real seagulls flying around in that shot with the falling hat. So, I guess maybe they shot that on a real location.
Maybe. I'm so impressed by the puppetry when they're hanging. Like it's animatronic when it's the whole body?
Yeah, when you can see the whole body, that's some kind of.
It doesn't look animatronic to me. Like, it really just, not that animatronic necessarily doesn't look as good, but I think I'd be able to spot it. But it just felt really natural to the rest of the puppetry.
Yeah, I wonder if the technology had just progressed, far enough by 1996 that it looked so much better than what we think of from Fraggle Rock or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair.
Just because I'm a psychic and I can see into the future, I bet we'll talk more about that next week.
I bet we will.
Okay.
I bet we will.
In an episode that we've already recorded. But yeah, I think the technology might have improved, and then they might be supplementing it with some other kinds of puppetry, like marionetting, or who knows. They're just really good at what they do.
Yeah, but what you know for sure is there's never any green screening going on.
I don't think so.
Well, it would have to be blue screen
Fine,
For
but
Kermit,
yeah,
yeah.
because Kermit
Kermit's
is
green. Can you imagine?
right. Yeah, there's
Yeah,
just his
I want to
eyeballs
see
floating.
that scene now. Somebody needs to do that. Green screen.
Did they do that? Kermit was on a local news show at some point, or maybe like a morning show, and he stood in
And they
front of
used a green screen.
and
Was he
it
doing the
just like
weather?
his eyeballs floating. Yeah, I've
Love
seen
it.
that somewhere. Yeah, it was a very good gag. So Piggy turns to Long John and says, "Don't hurt my frog," and Kermit warns her, "Don't tell him anything, Mina. He'll only kill you too." There's that word again. So Kermit has Long John all figured out, of course, by this point. And Long John says, "Now, for the last time, where's the bloody treasure?" He raises his sword. He's about to cut the rope, but Piggy shouts, "Stop!" And then she tells him, "The treasure's at my place. North Trail, split level hut with the pink lawn furniture. You can't miss." And that's where this clip ends.
Mm-hmm.
You can't miss
I'm
what?
sure
You can't miss
your
Piggy?
audience is tired of hearing this by now, because I can only imagine I'm the umpteenth person to say it. But by golly, is Tim Curry amazing in this?
Oh, yeah.
One, you are the umpteenth person to say it, but two, nobody's sick of hearing that.
It's
He's the
always
best.
true.
It's just so I saw the movie when it first came out. What year was that?
96.
Okay, so I was 15 and I never saw it again since then. Like, I saw it in the theater and I just,
Wow.
I didn't hate it, but it was just my go-to Muppet movie has always been Muppets Take Manhattan. So that's the one I'm going to rewatch over and over again. So I'd never seen it since then. And boy, did I appreciate Tim Curry in this. I was really watching him closely, and like, he does not perform any differently than he would have if this were like Shakespeare or something, on the royal stage. Like, he's just giving it his all the entire movie. Yeah. My God, so nuanced. And even in that split second, the way his face just subtly changes when he's told where the treasure is. It's just, wow. Have you guys already passed? I don't remember the order of things. You guys already passed the scene at the luau?
Like where the Electric Mayhem are playing their instruments and stuff?
That yeah.
Thing? Yeah.
And
we're
he sings?
That. Oh, yeah. Professional.
Yes,
players.
Yeah.
Okay. So when I was watching it, I actually said aloud, I think he's actually singing live. And Ryan was like, he is singing live. We've already researched this. But it was just so evident to me because, I pay attention to these things. You can tell when people are lip syncing to their own voice, even if they're very good at it. I can usually tell. And so it was just I just felt so validated when I was correct about that, which was just more of fueling my fire of like, wow, Tim Curry's amazing.
Yeah. And that what you said a minute ago about the change in his manner and his expression, I've been noticing a lot of that as we've been going through this movie, how he's able to just turn on a dime from one emotion to another. Like,
well, I should tell you, my reference.
He's sympathetic. He's mean.
Totally.
He's funny.
So I don't think I knew what an amazing actor he was before this, to be honest, because my main reference point for him was playing Rooster in the 1980 whatever Annie.
Yeah.
And in that movie, I realize now, is just like comically overacting in that role because that's his character's personality. But I think I walked away from it thinking that Tim Curry was just sort of an overactor, because the sort of reactions that I just referred to as being subtle in this were very like obvious and overt in Annie, like, because he was a schemer in that as well. He was part of the villainous duo. So seeing the contrast between those two movies, and I've seen Tim Curry in other things, of course, those aren't the only two things I've seen him in, but those are the two times I've seen him in something like this, playing the bad guy. And now I realize that what I thought was overacting in Annie was really just, I think, a character choice.
Yeah.
Remind
me, you've seen Clue.
Oh yeah, so I'm sorry, that was my other main reference.
Right, okay.
Point.
I was gonna say
Clue.
I'm pretty sure you have, but if you haven't, we should watch it
Oh,
together.
yeah, no. Clue was on regular rotation. I don't know why I didn't
Yeah.
think of that just now, but that's different. But
Yeah.
yes, that is subtler.
Well, and he's subtler, but he's still playing it very comically in that one. It's not
He
quite
is.
as much range as this. So, yeah.
Right. This was a lot of range.
But yeah, that's like I said, that's the end of this clip. Anything else from these 2 minutes? Staci, starting with you.
I think we've covered it all. Yeah. Thank you for letting me focus on Sam. He's fabulous.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Anthony, anything?
So this is not really about the 2 minutes, but it is a callback to things we talked about earlier. We were talking about fan art of Bunsen Honeydew as Batman.
Did you find something?
And I was looking during the podcast, a DeviantArt user named Rob Huff. I want to say Huff, Hough.
Sure.
Did this gorgeous drawing of full color of Bunsen and Beaker as the 1960s
I found
Batman
it.
and Robin.
Yeah.
And it took I wasn't sure who it is, so I actually asked on the Discord, can anyone identify this artist? Because I just found it in like a BuzzFeed article. And Discord user Dizzy sent me the link to the DeviantArt page. So thank you, Dizzy, and thank you, Rob Huff, for that terrific picture of Bunsen and Beaker as Batman and Robin.
So that's what you were doing when you were staring intently at something while we were talking earlier.
Yes.
I put the picture
what is
in
Anthony looking at?
I put it in the chat if you want to look at it.
Wow. Yeah, that's great.
It's great, right?
It's funny to see Robin so much taller than Batman because Beaker is so much taller than Bunsen.
And I don't know if I've mentioned on the show, Ryan, I think you know, my son Miles and I have been watching Batman 66 together in order over the past few months. So it's really this is more fun for me to see right now than it would have been a little bit ago.
Yeah, of course. Okay, I have a couple of things maybe from the June 1st, 1994 draft of the screenplay. Something we actually kind of went over in a previous episode, but in the scene when Gonzo and Rizzo and Jim first reunite with Sam, in the draft, Sam says, "Lucky I found you. I just ran out of anchovies." I kind of like that. I think they should have left that in.
Wait, who says that to whom?
So in the scene in the screenplay draft, when they find Sam rowing the boat, and they reunite, Sam is the one who says, "Lucky I found you. I just ran out of anchovies."
Why don't I get it?
Because he doesn't have any more rations. He's out of food.
Yeah, he's been eating anchovies while he's been lost at sea, and now he's out of them.
Was there any moment where we knew earlier in the movie that he had anchovies in the lifeboat or whatever?
I don't.
No, that's just a fish that you can get in the ocean.
Yeah, and anchovies is a funny name and a funny food. Another funny word. Yeah.
If you say
well, maybe that's why they cut it. Maybe most people wouldn't have found it funny. Then they do have the Ghost of Mr. Arrow gag in the draft, but in this version, Mr. Arrow kind of creeps up on the pirates and backs them into a certain area of the deck, and the other characters then spring a trap which pulls all the pirates up into a net. So a little bit complicated to pull off. I think making them jump off into the water was easier, but
funnier.
I'm sure, yeah, I agree. I also think pulling them all up into a net would have been funnier, would have been easier to do with all puppets than it is with a bunch of humans.
Oh, with a mixture of puppets and humans, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That would be.
So that probably had something to do with it.
Very tricky. Yeah. And then this is just amused me. When the good guys take control of the ship again, the draft, the stage directions call for humongous corn gold music. This is a reference to the composer Eric Wolfgang Korngold, an early influential Hollywood film score composer who worked on The Adventures of Robin Hood.
Ryan, you gotta watch Robin Hood.
And
you gotta watch it.
And another movie that we just mentioned a couple episodes ago, Captain
Blood, yeah.
Yeah. Which I have on reserve at our local library currently. I'm waiting to be the next one to get it. So,
I can't wait to hear what you think. I really can't. I love that movie.
And then one thing from the listener comment treasure chest, a few episodes ago, we talked about the Swedish chef scene in which the chef makes a mouse out of vegetables and tosses it in a pot. we were confused by this, but a few different people in the Discord said they think that the chef was probably demonstrating how he was going to cook Rizzo. I think our friend Becca was the first person to point that out, and yeah, I'm sure that's correct.
I think that's probably right.
Yeah, I don't know why we didn't figure that out. Maybe because watching it 2 minutes when things are separated from each other, we didn't put it together. But anyway, yeah. So then we can move on to Staci. We ask our guests 2 questions. The first being, what's your history with this movie?
Oh, I guess I already answered that.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I saw it in the theater. I remember enjoying it. I went with at least one friend of mine who is also a big Muppet fan. We saw it at the mall. You know it as Montgomery Mall.
Yeah,
Westfield,
I've been there
Montgomery.
many times.
Yeah, there used to be a small movie theater downstairs that was actually owned by a family that went to my school.
Huh.
And I also saw the Brady Bunch movies there, I remember too. And
Both
yeah,
of them?
I believe that's where we saw Inside Out. Was it?
Okay, so no, yes, the same mall, but completely different theater. This used to be a little tiny. This was a little independently owned theater downstairs that maybe had 3 screens.
Yeah,
and they since have added on and built a huge movie theater. Fun fact: you and I both live, Anthony, or I grew up in places where there's like an active, healthy mall. There's still a very well-attended mall where I'm from in Maryland.
Oh yeah, the mall industry is dying. They haven't told this mall.
You mean where I live now, right?
Where you live now? Yeah, sorry. Where I grew up versus where you are now.
Yeah, the mall in Grand Forks, North Dakota, is not doing well. I can assure you.
I think the secret has been that they try to stay a little upscale, and they're in a very wealthy area, so I think it works for them. But anywho, back to this movie, and then I never saw it again until recently. So you can do the math on that. It's been quite a while, and I did not remember the storyline nor anything about it other than Tim Curry being in it. I did remember that.
Yeah. And yeah, so we watched it a couple weeks ago, and I have to say, watching the movie all the way through again after watching it piece by piece for this podcast, I think I do appreciate it more than I did before the season of the podcast.
I'll be honest. I know there's some hate for this. I did not really feel that. It just felt like, did it feel like other Muppet movies? Necessarily no, but I think that's what I kind of liked about it, because I don't think Christmas Carol feels like other Muppet movies either. Right. So similarly, it's another book adaptation using the Muppets, and I thought for what it was trying to be, it was good. I think for anyone that enjoys an adventure movie, I don't see any reason not to like this one.
Yeah, there you go. Well, then that leads us to our next question, which is, where do you rank this one alongside all the other Muppet movies?
Okay. Yeah, I still think it would. I've not seen Muppets in Space in its entirety either, so leaving that one out. But are we counting the newer ones?
Yeah, the 2 2010s movies. Yeah,
it's probably still at the bottom. Well, I don't know. With Tim Curry's performance, that might bump it up the Jason Segel one to me, actually.
Sure. Okay. Makes sense.
Or they could be tied. I mean,
sure.
It's just so hard with that particular film because, as we all know, there was so much emotion tied to the Muppets being back on the big screen again. So it's hard to know how I would judge them, in a vacuum. But yeah, definitely towards the bottom for sure, just because I have so much love for the other ones. And I really loved, I adored Muppets Most Wanted.
Yeah.
That one's high for me.
Yeah. All right. Well, then with that, we can wrap things up for this week. Staci, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.
Listeners, you can find Tough Pigs on the internet at toughpigs.com. We are also all over social media, as well as TeePublic and Patreon. You can chat with other Muppet nerds on the Tough Pigs Discord server. I am on Blue Sky at me, Ryan Rowe. Anthony is on Blue Sky at Durwood Clapper. I am on Letterboxd at Movies Are Neat. Anthony is on Letterboxd at Zeppo Marxist. As of this recording, recently I have rated and reviewed Psycho along with all three sequels, Psycho 2, 3, and 4. So go check out my Letterboxd and see what I had to say about those.
I didn't watch any of the sequels. I should probably.
Oh, yeah, you should check them out. And, of course, as always, we want to thank Morgan Davy for our show's logo. Staci, remind our listeners where they can find you, or tell them for the first time where they can find you or your work.
I don't know that you can find me. I'm pretty much lurking on the interwebs, but you're welcome to listen to like the first 6 podcasts Tough Pigs put out because I wrote those theme songs.
Yeah, great theme songs.
Yeah, you wrote ours for the first 3 seasons.
Yeah.
And then also multiple other podcasts, a couple that Joe did and Becca's Habawa.
Yep, the Muppets Sitcom, the podcast. To introduce our guest star, did you write that one?
Yep, I sure did.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, listeners, go listen to all those podcast theme songs. Tell all your friends about this show, even if they're ghosts, and join us again next week for another episode of Moving Right Along. See you then.
Way anchor!
And today we have one of my all-time favorite guests. Extremely happy to have her on the show. Guest, who are you?
Hi, I'm Staci Rosen, and hold on, just one of your favorite guests?
I know, I was going to say.
Okay, my number one all-time favorite guest.